How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Ruffle Rowlet, and welcome back to a brand new video, guys. So, you all may remember, we had a discussion about this screenshot from Yokai Watch 4 not too long ago. We had a video that I brought up where I talked about specifically how this game's graphics look way better to me than Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee graphics look like. And this was like a discussion that was had, like I said, back in July, actually. Wow, it's been a long time since then. But we had a discussion about this, and now they've actually released gameplay. There are actual gameplay images from these games, and I've got to be honest, it looks amazing. Like, fundamentally, it looks like an amazing game, and it gets me worried, like, you know, about, like, Pokemon Let's Go and, like, its graphics and stuff, which, by the way, look pretty nice. Like, I think fundamentally people have gone against Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee because, like, oh, they're, you know, the graphics aren't good enough, or they're too childish, or this or that, right? People have gone against them for whatever reason, right? But personally, I feel like the graphics are fine. They're nothing wrong, but of course, I would love better. I would love something in the style of Yokai Watch 4 because that looks way cooler in my eyes, personally, right? Personal opinion, I think they look cooler, but then again, that's just what I feel. So, they were just talking about this. We might as well go through the article, but we have a bunch of images and gameplay to go through in this video, and I want to kind of talk about what I hope for Gen 8. If this is how Yokai Watch looks like, then I'm expecting at least this for Gen 8, because keep in mind, Yokai Watch is a smaller, way smaller franchise than Pokemon is. It's so insignificant in comparison, but it's beating out Pokemon currently, at least this year, it's beating out Pokemon in quality, as far as I can tell. So let's take a look at the actual article here. The fourth installment in the popular Yokai Watch series is making its way to Nintendo Switch today. Today, developer Level 5 gave us a glimpse at what the upcoming JRPG will look like. You can check out the first in-game screenshots of the game via 4Gamer below. After reading some of the internet's reactions, it's become clear the gamers would love it if the next Pokemon title played similarly. Many wish Nintendo went the third-person perspective route with Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, while Nintendo didn't make a drastic gameplay or graphical leap with the upcoming Let's Go games. Many assume the next mainline title set to launch next year will be wildly different and much more impressive. Only time will tell. While Yokai Watch isn't as popular as a couple of years ago in Japan, it's still pretty damn popular overseas, as garnered quite a following here in the States as well. The previous 3 games in the series released on Nintendo 3DS. Now Yokai Watch 4 for Nintendo Switch is set to launch sometime this year in Japan. Unfortunately, no Western release for Yokai Watch 4 has been announced yet. Let's cross our fingers that it's not long after Japanese launch, which I'm hoping for. I want to play these games. So, that was the article. Now, this was back in July, guys. So, we've now finally got an actual gameplay. Now, this was the image that I looked at, and I was like, dude, this game looks amazing. And I also like how they kind of like, they made their characters a bit more, you know, a bit older and a bit more, you know, not super adult. They're still like teenagers and stuff, but like they made them a bit older, so it's not like you're just playing around with freaking 10-year-old freaking characters all the time. Like, that's just boring. Like, after a while, you're like, okay, seriously, like, me being a 10-year-old in the game, being sent out on these journeys, it gets a little bit ridiculous after a while, but I like that they took a different step at it. Now, I don't know, these kids could be, like, 14, 15 or some shit. They at least, like, they fundamentally, to me, they fundamentally understand how to, like, move their franchise forward a little bit better, and I liked what they did here. So, there's been new gameplay. Here's one of them. Again, I love these graphics. This is the sort of graphics that I'm a huge fan of, right? Where it's kind of in between realistic and, like, cartoony, right? Kind of the perfect match. That's what I love. And this image right here shows perfectly what I'm hoping, I'm praying we get this in freaking Gen 8, guys. Like, I am getting excited seeing these Yokai Watch images because I know Game Freak can do great. I mean, Sun and Moon weren't bad-looking games. It's just that they played on a shitty console, right? Not that the 3DS is shitty, but like rather the 3DS fundamentally can't handle. It just can't handle what like the Sun and Moon games had in them, right? But if you play them on Citra in 4K resolution, mwah, bellissimo. It's just perfect. But either way, let's continue. Some more screenshots here. So, here's a gameplay thing, right? So this is something I talked about, how I want the gameplay to be in these upcoming Pokemon games, and I think that's not going to happen, but I would love it if they try doing it for another future game. And this is what I hope they did with Let's Go instead, because I feel like Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee could have been like a way to test out some new features that aren't just Pokemon Go features, and that's where I fundamentally kind of don't agree with Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, is when people argue that, oh, Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee is different, right? It makes changes. Why don't you like difference? Why don't you like change? Why do people complain about something being different and unique and whatever, right? Fundamentally, there's nothing unique to me about Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee. I think they just reuse the kind of concepts from Pokemon Go. That's all they do. But what if they try to do something different with the combat system instead? Like, okay, cool. You got Pokemon Go features, geez, got Pokemon Go features and stuff, right? You implement those Pokemon Go features, but also you maybe change something around that you want to try out. For example, the combat system. Make it a bit more interactive, what they did here. So this combat system in Yokai Watch 4 works very similarly, okay? Very similarly to how it works in Ni no Kuni. Now, Ni no Kuni combat, to me, is amazing, right? Instead of just being this kind of like real-time strategy, or sorry, strategy kind of like back and forth, turn-based combat, right? Which Pokemon has, which can get a little bit stale. You know, instead of having that, what they do instead is your combat is both turn-based-ish and also interactive. So you're running around with your creatures, right? Your yokais. They're running around the game here. They're doing things. They're dodging. They're, you know, whatever it may be. But then also, you aim with your character and basically tell your yokai to do specific moves and abilities and stuff by pressing, you know, maybe X, Y, ZL, and, you know, ZR and whatnot. Like, you just basically press those buttons, aim at the Pokemon, aim at the yokai, sorry, and at the other yokai, and your yokai is gonna just deal those abilities and do those damages and whatever it may be. It makes the gameplay a bit more interactive and a bit more juicy in my eyes. It makes it way more fun, and that's where I think Pokemon should go. Now, why do I say this? Well, because I've played Pokemon fan games. If you guys haven't played Pokemon Generation, I'm actually going to find a video here. Pokemon Generation has the perfect combat in my eyes. Now, I'm going to find it really quickly here for you guys. Just going to find it on my channel because that's where I have the gameplay I can remember. Here we go. So, here it is. Let me just pause this for a minute. Okay, so here you can see the gameplay. I'm going to show you how it looks like when you battle with your Pokemon, right? So what you do in this game is you control the Pokemon you play as, right? You go around with your trainer. It's going to lower the volume right there. You play as your, you know, as a trainer, and then, you know, right there, boom. He used a Dig on me. He's trying to use Dig on me while I'm running around with Charmander. And look at that, I'm destroying a rock. Now, this game's graphics aren't great, but keep in mind, I mean, they are great in my eyes. It's, like, for a fan game, they look great. I love them. But, you know, like, fundamentally, they aren't as good at something like that Game Freak can pull off as a multi-billion, you know, multi-million-dollar company. So, look at this, right? You aim your abilities. There, I scratched him. I'm gonna try to, like, throw my, some embers and whatnot on him, and he's just gonna run around, like, Speedy Gonzalezing my ass. And now he's gonna use, like, I don't know, was that rollout or something? I'm not really sure what moves we're using here, but you can see kind of, there you go, use Growl or Howl. I'm not sure which one it was. But there you go, now he's just pummeling me and I'm just getting destroyed, right? To me, this combat was so much fun. And also here you can see how the combat looks like kind of with other Pokemon. See? Like, it's an interactive combat. It makes it so much more fun. It feels like I'm playing like a Naruto game, right? And that is so much fun to me. Because in 1 second, I'm controlling my trainer. Next second, I'm throwing out my Pokemon to battle, you know, somebody else. Fundamentally, I find that to be really, really fun. And I think that's where I think Pokemon should try out to go. Maybe with a spin-off game. If you don't want to try it on a main series game, try with a spin-off game maybe. And maybe you should have done that for Let's Go. Tried something unique and actually different rather than just taking what Pokemon Go already has and implementing that. Because that didn't really make, to me, a major change that made the game any better. And if anything, it made the Let's Go games kind of like more, it's just a scuffed Pokemon Go with like a Kanto region in it. And that's really all it is, you know, with Kanto Pokemon. It's a little bit scuffed, but it is what it is. But with this game, it's different. Because here, Yokai Watch is fundamentally making this way more interesting combat, in my eyes. This is great. If you could do this, but if you don't want to do it for a mainline game, because I understand many people don't want this sort of combat. If you don't want to do it for a mainline game, then do it for a spin-off game. Just try it for a spin-off game, Nintendo. Just try it out. Maybe, again, like I said, you should have done this sort of try for Let's Go. If you wanted Let's Go to be kind of your testing the water, you know, dipping your toes in the water type of deal, and if that's what you wanted this to be, then maybe, you know, if that's what you want Let's Go to be, and, you know, you want it to be kind of an introduction to new people, then maybe introducing them to a brand new system of gameplay would have been a good way to go about it. Now, of course, you could argue, well, they want the games to be easy and whatnot, and this combat might be too hard for them to understand. Sure, here, if we look at the gameplay right here, kind of see what's going on. You got the yokai coming in. Now, this gameplay is a little bit poor quality, so I'll try to find some better ones. But right here, you can see, for example, see, the character's dodging as well. Of course, maybe that wouldn't be a thing in the Pokemon game, but I'm excited about playing this. I'm genuinely excited to play Yokai Watch, which I've never played before. But this makes me really excited. Now, let's try to find some better gameplay here. Not my gameplay. Jeez. So, let's just lower the volume. You can see the walking inside, which looks a little bit scuffed, you know, because they do have this kind of point of view, which is a little bit different when they walk inside of houses. It's a little bit different from, like, what Pokemon tends to do. But I can kind of see why they did this. Like, just instead of having the third-person camera here, they just do it, you know, above from view, because you have a big house to go through. And I assume you're going to go into several other houses, so it's, you know, it's fundamentally works better for them. There you go, you got a third-person view when you're in the open world. You're talking to a yokai, I guess, and you got gameplay. This looks beautiful to me, by the way. I love this overworld and, like, how it looks like. The houses are a little bit, and also the wall's blocked over there, which is just a little bit weird. But the actual overworld, right, the gameplay world, it looks beautiful, man. I just love the way it looks like. Now, is the game going to play better than a Pokemon game? I don't know. Is the gameplay going to be better than a Pokemon game? I don't know. Is the story better than a Pokemon game? Again, I don't know. But do the graphics look like kind of like in an area where I kind of like them? Yes, they look like they're just like they're in between the anime style and the realistic style, just kind of matching, just fine enough where it isn't too uncanny and too weird, right? And I think Pokemon can pull off way better models and way better overworlds than they can even do, than these guys can even do. So I think they could pull out this even better, and that's what I hope they do here. So we got some actual gameplay coming in here where they're actually gonna battle, this is where I get really interested, right? I want to see how this works like. It's gonna work against that little thing, that little weird ass freaking, I don't know, mold. And this guy pops out, which is just weird. I don't know, the model looks freaking creepy, dude. I don't know what kind of yokai that is, but again, it's all yokais. They're not supposed to be like Pokemon. They're supposed to be their own little thing. So, of course, going to be a little bit sketchy. But here you go. So, he's going to use three of his yokais to battle here, which I feel like, imagine this, but like just with one Pokemon. Look, he's like aiming on that one, and he's just popping off abilities. Like, look at this. Like, this is the sort of combat I could imagine for Pokemon would work, right? But imagine 1v1 Pokemon or just 2v2, but a little bit more balanced, and Game Freak pulling this off way better, because that's what I think they can do. Again, Game Freak, we trust in you. We know you can do amazing work. You guys are amazing at what you do, and I think you can pull this off freaking incredibly here. Because look at this gameplay. It looks amazing. Like, fundamentally, it looks great, dude. And I'm just so sad that we won't, like, most likely not be getting something like this for Pokemon, which I do hope they end up doing. I really hope Yokai Watch sells really good. I'm going to be buying Yokai Watch. If you want to buy it as well, definitely do it. I'm going to support this game, so to show them that I like what they're doing here. I like the kind of twists and turns they're taking with their gameplay, making something unique and different for the gaming community, and I really appreciate it, and I like what they're going with here. I like this gameplay. It really speaks to me as somebody who's wanted Pokemon to take a bit of a different turn for a long time, and this is really cool in my eyes. But then again, the gameplay here, you know, it's different. Yokai Watch is different from Pokemon. It's supposed to be kind of its own little thing, which right here, it is different. It's far different from what Pokemon is. You have three yokais battling. You know, fundamentally, it's just different gameplay. But what if they did this with Game Freak? Pokemon did this, you know, but like with the Pokemon gameplay style, but, you know, interactive a bit more. You know, you can maybe dodge, or maybe you can, you know, just making it a bit more interactive. That'd be so cool. Hey, like I said, do this for a spin-off game. That's all I'm gonna say. Do it for a spin-off game and see how that goes. If it doesn't work, then hey, it is what it is. You know, you can't really, you know, nobody's gonna blame you if it doesn't work out and people don't like it in a spin-off game. But try it in a spin-off game and, you know, show us like what you can figure out. Look at this boss battle here as well. Jeez. Man, I'm excited for this. Like, I am excited to play this game. I'm really hyped up. Even the freaking character is punching, which I guess for Pokemon you wouldn't be doing. You'd just be, the trainer would just be standing back and you'd be kind of controlling the Pokemon's orders and whatnot, like sending the Pokemon in. You know, that would be pretty cool. But then again, guys, I don't know. This is just, it's making me hyped up for what potentially we might be getting, you know, in Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee. No, sorry, in Gen 8 in 2019. That's what makes me makes me so excited. I'm assuming that's the sort of graphics we'll get. The battle will be the same though. The battles will be the same. It will be the turn-based combat we're used to, which I'm fine with. I'm nothing against it. If this is not the combat that you guys don't want, then that is fine. If this is the combat that we don't never ever get, that's fine. Pokemon is the way it is, and it's supposed to be its own little thing, and that is totally okay. Would I like this to be a thing in Pokemon? Yes. Would I think it would be cool for a spin-off game? Hell yes. I love this sort of combat. It makes it more fun for somebody like me who likes more interactive gameplay rather than just keeping track of stats and stuff. And like, oh, this move does this and blah, 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 blah. I'd be more, you know, for me it'd be more fun if I can actually run around, be more interactive with my creatures and my, you know, little Pokemon, whatever it may be. But yeah, guys, that's going to be the end of this video. Let me know your thoughts, guys. How does this game look to you guys? Will you be picking up Yokai Watch? Not that, that's just me looking scuffed. Will you be picking up Yokai Watch? Do you like the graphics of the game? I know personally, I love this. I think the game looks amazing. So, I want to know your thoughts, guys. What do you feel about this? Do you like it? Do you dislike it? Let me know in the comment section down below. And thank you so much for watching. My name is Ruffle Rowlet. Have a great day, and bye-bye, ladies and gentlemen.